Now we're really into the middle of the NFL offseason, Rube. How we doing?
Doing great. Where are you right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know where I am right now. We are recording this.
I usually have that problem during the seasons.
Yeah. Uh, it's summer vacation. We have vacation time planned, but we're not gonna just disappear on you guys
We
completely.
can't abandon our
Yeah, so
listeners.
we're down to one a week, as you guys have already noticed in the summer, but we have a pod for each week. And then once we get the training camp, you'll be sick of us.
Yeah, we do a podcast after every practice
Mhm.
during training camp.
Yeah,
which
I love
is a lot
that.
of fun.
It's always good because if you wait until after like two practices, it's hard to remember what happened in the first practice.
And it might be irrelevant by then.
Exactly. I should mention this is the Eagle Eye Podcast. He's Reuben Frank. I'm Dave Zangaro. Today we have a fun episode.
This is going to be fun.
It's just all a game. We're going to draft two different Eagles teams based off of the current roster. We don't have an order yet. I have a coin.
We could do this sometime with all-time Eagles too.
We could. That would
maybe next summer.
I would need a little bit more time to prepare for that one.
Let's do that next summer.
I like
that.
Have
a year.
Yes, good. Yeah. I have a penny that Rube gave me. I might get
I didn't
back.
give it to you. I lent it to you.
Yeah, we'll see about that. See if you remember this a little bit. I'm going to flip it. You're going to call it in the air, and then that'll determine who gets the first pick. And the way we're doing this is we're going to draft all the offense first and then all the defense. All right. Okay. I guess theoretically you could draft a defensive player and put him on offense, but no, don't do that. Don't screw up this game.
Please.
You ready?
Yes.
Call in the air.
Heads.
Tails. Tails it is. I get first pick. Easy pick for me here.
Dankwa.
Yeah. Gottlieb. I will go with Jalen Hurts. I get the quarterback. I think that's the obvious pick there. Not saying anything bad about Kenny Pickett, but I get the franchise quarterback. And I want to talk about these guys a little bit as we pick them. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the purpose of it all. But I think Jalen's...
Is there a purpose?
I think in this new offense, obviously he's got to work through some of the kinks, but I think he can shine in this new offense. I think it's going to create more for everyone, and I think he's going to be a big beneficiary.
Yeah, I think the question for me is how long that process is going to take. I don't know if there's an answer to that. Got a ways to go, but my expectation is that as training camp goes along, we'll start to see there'll be like a day where you're like, all right, it's clicking. I mean, he's got AJ, he's got Devontae, he's got guys, he's got these Saquon. So when it clicks, it's going to look really good.
Yeah, and I think like there were some moments in the spring where it's like he's just not on the same page with his receivers. And I think there are some like option routes in this offense, and those are going to take a while.
Yeah, he's doing things he hasn't done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not going to happen automatically. There's new terminology. There's no Kelsey. So there's a lot going on.
How do you think they'll use him in the run game this year? That was something that kind of disappeared last season. And it was weird because they were still running plays where that was like part of it, but there was a little bit in his face and he just slides and loses a yard. And you're like, all right, well, I don't know if that's as effective right now.
Yeah. I'm convinced Jalen was hurt last year and not hurt enough to be on the injury report or missed time, but
hurt, not injured.
Yeah. Just banged up, which has been the case every year of his career at the end of the year. I guess except 20. But I think it's got to be a part of his game. I think it'll be less a part of his game. I think as the coaching level increases and as he gets older, I think he'll become more of a passer, and this will become more of a passing offense. And if you have Saquon, I mean, I'm sure they'll still run some stuff for Jalen, but I'd like to see it be less. And he can still be effective doing it. And I think when it comes up, he's got it in his back pocket. But yeah, I don't know. I think Brian became a little too reliant on some of that stuff. And even when it wasn't working, it's almost like he didn't realize it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Remember that one game where it called it was like 2nd and 1, and then it was like 3rd and 2, and he called just these option runs, back-to-back plays that each lost like 2 yards. It's like, what is going on here? You have to be really aware of what's going on with your quarterback from a health standpoint and a movement standpoint. And if he's not there, don't call that stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was like they didn't recognize what was going on.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
It was in denial. Yeah, last year was strange in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that was one of them, but plenty of other ways too.
I do think we've talked about how Jalen wasn't really connecting. I thought he threw the ball really well. So that part of
in
it,
the spring,
yeah,
just like pure arm talent.
Yeah. I thought he was really firing the ball. It just wasn't always going where there was a receiver, but well, I don't worry about that part of it. I think it'll come.
Okay. It's your pick, and now you don't have to jump on the quarterback here. I guess you can save him for last at this point, unless I go 2 QB offense.
You give me advice on how to pick?
No.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, Kenny Pickett or Tanner McKee, I'm okay with either one as my quarterback. So I'm going to take Lane Johnson.
Yeah, it's the right pick. Yeah. What do you expect from Lane at this point in his career?
Lane's really motivated. He hasn't played every game since 2016. Mm-hmm. He brought that up on his own, like asked about what he's shooting for. He said, I want to be there for my team every week. And he's missed games for a couple different reasons, but I like hearing that, because if he's there for every week, I mean, there's not many better than him. And the problem is having him out there. And when he's not out there, they're just not the same offense, obviously. I talked to him about getting that first team All-Pro back, and he's really driven by that. And he says he's motivated by Penei Sewell and by all those guys. Tristan Wirfs, I think he mentioned. Yeah. He wants to be the best right tackle in the league, best O tackle in the league. And I like where he is. I think is he 34 yet? 33, 34?
He's 34.
I thought last year when he played, he was as good as ever. I really did.
I agree with that. It's amazing, like this late push in his career to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like it's possible.
It is. 2-time All-Pro. If he gets another one, I think he's really in the mix. 5 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
He's piling up some numbers, and I think he was overshadowed a lot of his career by Kelsey, who we know is a Hall of Famer.
And even before that, like Jason Peters.
Yeah. And Peter King, I was at a table talking to Stout at the Super Bowl, and he was talking about, you could in theory have 3 guys from that O-line make the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how cool would that be if JP, Kelsey, and Lane? I think JP's got a really good chance. Has he retired? Is he still?
I don't think so. Not officially.
I mean, he might never be eligible because he may never stop playing. But I think we know Kelsey's a lock. I think I'd put JP at about 80%.
Yeah, it's just I know his career kind of tailed off, but watch that guy in his prime and tell me he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. He's the best tackle I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Lane's not that far off. So I think Lane's probably maybe not quite at 50% right now, but if he finishes strong, a couple more Pro Bowls. Yeah, he's in the mix. Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
I don't want to get boxed out here. I'm a little reactionary.
Okay.
I'm going Jordan Mailata.
Okay.
I want my left tackle. I can't have you get both of the tackles on me. So I want Jordan. I think he is still potentially entering his prime. He was so young when he got here and so raw that I think for a couple years he kind of like leveled out. I think he's ready for a jump. I think we started to see it last year. He played at a really high level. I think he has like Pro Bowl, All-Pro potential.
Yeah, I thought he could have been a Pro Bowler last year. Mm-hmm. I thought it was his best year. I think the way last year ended hurt a lot of guys. But I thought he was still playing really well. So, yeah, I like that pick. And you got to use some strategy here. Yeah, you don't want to be left with 2 Becton and Big Fred as your tackles.
Yeah.
By the same token, well, do you want to talk about Jordan some more? I'm going to predict that he makes the Pro Bowl this year.
I like that. I always do that story, like guys most likely to make their first Pro Bowl. He's at the top of the list for me.
You like stories that you get to do every year, don't you? You like having those kind of.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing wrong.
You don't
with
like that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
It's nice to have those to to rely on. It's funny how like sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't think I've ever written a story, and then I'll like Google it with my name, and then I wrote it like a month ago.
Yeah.
Like, the top 10, this or that. Like, you just wrote it, Rube. But Jordan's really, really developed into a really good player, and it's a story that's so crazy you kind of forget sometimes you never played the game before.
Mm-hmm.
With my next pick, I'm going to take Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, there's a big gap.
And that's what you're looking for when you draft. You want the, like if you take AJ and I'm stuck with Devontae, that's okay.
Exactly. And I think we might wait on that because of
right. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what Dallas brings, because he's always one of those guys too when we do those, like, could be a first-time Pro Bowler. I feel like he's been on that list for 4 years.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been able to stay healthy. 2 years ago, he would have been a Pro Bowler had he not gotten hurt.
Yeah, he missed he missed 5-6 games.
Yeah, I think 5.
Yeah. And then last year was a weird year for him. When he did play, he had some uncharacteristic drops, a couple drops. Didn't get the targets. It's weird. Last year, you kind of almost want to throw it out, what guys did, just because the last month and a half is almost like you just kind of try to forget it. But yeah, I think Dallas is still really good, but I think it's a big year for him to kind of reclaim his status as a top 5 tight end. There's some young guys who kind of moved into those spots.
Yeah, I agree. There's some good young tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
And we've always kind of waited for Dallas to take that next step.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good player.
Yeah. And he said, whatever, if he keeps catching 50 balls for 600 yards, that's not a bad year, but he's I never expected him to quite have Ertz type numbers, especially with these wide receivers, but there's no reason he can't be like close to 1,000-yard guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
And he's still really dangerous with when he has the ball in his hands, because he'll knock people over. A cornerback tries to tackle him, he's getting 8 extra yards.
Yeah. All right, my turn.
It looks like it's your turn.
Give me Saquon. Kind of the same reason you went with Dallas Goedert. I think there's a pretty big drop off between Saquon and whether it's Kenny G or Will Shipley. I think there's a little risk in that. I don't know exactly what Saquon's going to be this year, but I think there's a chance he could be really good, especially in this offense.
Yeah. I really have no idea what to expect. You can make a pretty compelling case that he's going to be great, and you can make a decent case he won't be, just based on his last 4 years. He's had one really good year. Yeah. And that was 22. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. It's a little tricky.
We'll do our, before the season, we always, I guess in August, we'll do early September, we'll do our predictions. I'm sure Saquon's scrimmage yards might even be a 2-parter, rushing yards, scrimmage yards.
Yeah, I like it, because you're right. I think we talked about the boom bust potential for this team. I think there's some boom busts in Saquon.
I do.
Specifically.
I do as well. If you had to pick a number, scrimmage yards.
Like the over-under number?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are odds for that. Would you say like 1375?
All right. So I just cleared it at my calculator. I had 1376 on here because.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because I said, what's, I forget how, I don't remember. I picked a number of yards per game and multiplied it by 15, figuring he might play 15 games. And I came up with 1376.
Wow. That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
So you take the over.
I guess, but I think that range, I'd like to see him over 1,500. I just don't know. I have no clue.
You're up.
I'm gonna take Landon Dickerson.
Ooh, should I put him at left guard?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I drafted him.
Let's make it sure.
Yeah, I didn't take him as center.
Okay.
I might need him.
You might need him. Yeah. We'll put him at left guard for now.
Yeah.
No, it's a solid pick. Really good. Potentially still getting better. I don't think he's hit his prime yet. I know he's been a Pro Bowler. I feel like for him it came earlier than maybe it should have.
I was surprised when
Like normally it comes after.
Yeah.
Like you got to do it for a few years.
Yeah. I mean, that was the Super Bowl year. So
that helps.
Yeah. Although I guess the voting's before then.
But they were
really good. But there's not a lot of guards in the NFC who, and like, look, once he make it twice, he's made it twice now, and he's a young guy. He's going to make it every year as long as he keeps playing well.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So the number of Pro Bowlers that Stout has had is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be, I don't have it in front of me. It's got to be well over 20 because JP made not all of his with Stout, but most of them. Kelsey made all of them. Lane's made all of them. Evan Mathis made a couple. Landon's made a couple. Brandon Brooks made 3. I mean, anyone else?
Yeah, it's wild because you had, like, for so long, Eagles didn't have good offensive linemen like that.
Yeah, I think they went like 20 years without a Pro Bowl offensive lineman, like after Stan Walters.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, had Trey.
And I think Trey ended that streak.
Mm-hmm.
But, and
Runyon make a Pro Bowl?
Who's that?
Did Runyon make a Pro Bowl?
He made 1.
1?
Yeah, he probably could have made more, but players hated him because he was.
Yeah. And back then, there really was like a left tackle, right tackle.
Yeah.
Like there was a gap, and it was.
Yeah. I know with the All-Pro team, we actually vote for right tackle, left tackle now, which I like.
Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, and then if Mulata can break through and make a couple, that number's just going to keep going up.
There's a reason they pay Jeff the big bucks.
Stout?
Mm-hmm.
He is something else, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
They're so lucky to have him. I can't imagine having to try to replace him.
Yeah, they've been lucky that he's stuck around.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple times where like his wife had to talk him into staying.
Remember there was like a report that he was going back to Alabama?
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been disaster.
Mm-hmm. My turn.
Yeah.
Give me A.J. Brown. I know that maybe that's jumping the gun because you can now take Devontae, but I'll take A.J. And right now I'm feeling pretty good. I've got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but who's going to block for them?
Well, we'll figure that out. I'm trusting Stout here.
You end up with Jack Driscoll at right guard.
Howie, I need you to go get Jack back. AJ has been incredible.
Yeah.
I knew he was really good. He's been better than anyone could have expected.
I think so. Yeah.
We're seeing a guy who might be a Hall of Famer in his prime.
I think so.
Now it's a tough position to play at a really high level for a long enough time to become a Hall of Famer, and there's kind of a logjam, but he's as good as anyone I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if the question I get asked a lot is who's the greatest receiver you've seen? Eagles. And I would say Mike Quick. I mean, 5 straight Pro Bowls and was doing it with bad knees. And then for a short period of time, T.O. was, but he didn't do it long enough to really.
But just in like in that short area, man.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But I think AJ is going to pass all of them. Mm-hmm. He's going to be here. He's not going anywhere. He's going to have a good quarterback that gets him the ball. 1,400 yards. Like, I think he's capable of a 1,700 yard season that you see some guys do, but with Devontae and Goddard, Saquon, I'm not sure that'll happen.
Yeah, it's trickier.
Yeah, but if he keeps piling up 1,500 yards and a lot of touchdowns, and pretty high yards per catch average too. Yeah,
I'm curious to see his yards after catch in this new offense.
Yeah,
and how they use him. I think might be a little different.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we talk about Jalen never having the same coordinator and I mean, AJ. I mean, it's the same deal. New coordinator, new system every year. Mm-hmm. To have 1486 last year. I don't know what his final number was.
Yeah, I think 14.
To do that when that offense was going through so many issues late in the season, and he wasn't healthy. I mean, how much did they miss him in that playoff?
1456 last year, 1496 and 22.
Oh, yeah, I said 1486. So I surrounded it. Special player. He's so driven. He's so motivated. He puts out those videos of him working out.
Yeah, and I'm buying it. Like I buy into that hype because he looks incredible.
He does. He does. As good as he's been, like he could easily say, I just want to be as good as I've been, and that would be fine. And nobody, but he's just so driven to always be better. It's a really cool thing. And I think that kind of really rubs off on Devontae as well.
Everyone,
sure.
Yeah.
But in particularly Devontae, I think.
I don't know if Devontae needs anything to rub off on him.
No, but I don't think it hurts to have a guy who's that hungry.
I think they push each other.
No doubt. And they're so close. I mean, gosh, they put their kids on the phone with each other.
Yeah. And I think they're both used to it too. Like you remember AJ played college ball with DK, and then you had Devontae obviously at Alabama. They were like, so it's not like they're used to being around other great players.
Yeah, that's true. How would you, if you could start a team with say Tyreek, CD, Justin, AJ, like who would your first wide receiver pick be?
Start a team?
Start a team.
Okay, so we're not saying for 1 year. Because Tyreek's
older.
Yeah. For like 1
30.
year, I would still probably gamble on Tyreek because he's, elite traits. AJ's right there with them. I mean, I think I would take him over like a Monroe, St. Brown, like those guys.
Yeah.
If we're talking,
and I like him. I like him, but
I think Jefferson and CD are above him. But it's also a little unfair because they're really the focal points of the offense. He's right there. He's, arguably third, fourth best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't think the gap is very big.
Okay. Who would you put Tyreek number one over?
Not to build a team with, no.
But as far as ranking him now,
yeah,
I probably would.
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Yeah,
but it's close, man.
It is.
Yeah,
I'll take any of them.
Yeah. So you're not going to answer the question?
No, I would.
Oh, okay.
I would take Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
If I was starting a team, I'd take Tyreek for 1 year.
CD over AJ or AJ over CD?
Really close.
Very close.
Probably take AJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lamb's going to get paid.
By somebody.
It'll be the Cowboys. It's just they waited so long.
That just keeps going up. Bummer for them.
You're up.
Well, I pretty much have no choice. I have to take Devontae because you're taking two receivers. So if I don't, I'm going to end up with Joseph Nagata.
Yeah, I put you on the defensive now.
I don't want to end up with Joseph Nagata and Paris Campbell. So I'll take Devontae.
Yeah, you kind of have to. It's kind of like when you took Lane, I had to take my Lotto.
Right.
When I take AJ, you got to take Devontae.
Yeah. A lot of strategy here.
Yeah. And Devontae, if AJ's not here, he's probably a 1,500-yard receiver himself.
1,500. It's a big number.
AJ's done it. I think he can do it. I think that Devontae at one point will have a season with 1,500 yards.
Interesting. I wouldn't limit him. I mean, I kind of always thought of his ceiling being more like 1,300, but certainly possible. I don't know why. Maybe just his build. I wonder if that'll limit him somehow, just as far as physically. But he looks good. He's very tough for slight guy.
Yeah.
He's such a spectacular. He makes so many spectacular plays that you're just like, how did he come down with that?
His body control might be the most impressive thing about him.
Yeah.
To me, just like the spatial awareness, like coming down with the football and toe tapping.
Yeah.
There aren't guys who do that.
And his ability to go up and get it with his body at a weird angle or like tangled up in the corner. It's really something to watch. He and AJ are so different, that way. I mean, AJ is just a big, powerful, strong, out muscle guys.
He plays with finesse too, though.
He does. He can, but like their strengths are, I guess, different.
Yeah.
Which probably makes them a really good combination. And I think they've talked about how they've each learned. AJ's talked about learning finesse from Devontae, and Devontae's talked about learning how to play tough from AJ.
And late hands.
Late hands.
My turn. I think I gotta go into the trenches here.
Okay, about time.
I have Jordan Mailata. I'm not doing all right. I'm gonna go Cam Jurgens here.
Okay.
This whole process would be different if Kelsey was still on the team. I think he'd already be taken, but I'm going Cam here. I don't love the other options at center. You have Landon, so maybe you've got some optionality there, but I'm going Cam Jurgens. I'm putting him at center. I think he's going to have a fine season. He's not going to be Jason Kelsey, but for the process here, I need him.
Yeah, I might have to put Landon at center. I don't want to. I think I have to go O-line here because
I don't know. John Ross is available.
Yeah, I don't want John Ross. If you take John Ross,
Calvin Watkins the third is.
I'm not taking a wide receiver here. I know you're not taking a second running back, so I can wait on Gainwell.
You don't know that. I might go 21 personnel. That third receiver doesn't have to be a third receiver.
So you can take Grant Calcaterra because that's the guy Nick keeps mentioning there. I think I got to go O-line, and I think what I'm going to do is take Mekhi Becton.
You put him at left tackle?
I'm not sure where I'm going to put him yet, but I just want him on my roster, and we'll see how it goes.
I'll put him at left tackle for now for you. That's a good pick. That would have been my next pick.
Taking a guy who's not even a starter, but it makes sense.
No, I think it does make sense.
Because you have that flexibility.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Now there's the run on offensive line.
That might turn out to be a really shrewd pick.
I think I'll give you a little insight here. That was my next pick.
No, I mean by Howie. I just not by me.
Oh.
I don't care. But no, there's a lot of those kind of reclamation project guys on this team, whether it's Devin White or, Paris Campbell or John Raw. I mean, there's so many of those guys, and most of them won't make the team. There's 50 of them.
Yeah.
And, I think you have to kind of come in as one of those guys with the right attitude. And I think Devin White's done that. And Becton certainly has done that. His openness to getting reps at guard has been really impressive. Sometimes guys really do just need to change the scenery and a change of coaching staff, a change of team around them, teammates around them. And Becton's like, it's kind of like Saquon is he's got more talent than he's ever had around him, and Becton does too.
Mm-hmm. My turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the last starter left on the board. I'm going to go Tyler Steen. I'm going to put him at right guard and hope he can play there. I think he can play there. I think he's the top candidate to win that job.
Yeah.
I think ultimately it will be him. Now, Becton's interesting case. We haven't seen him play right guard yet, but him getting left guard snaps makes you think about it a little bit. Or maybe Matt Hennessy at some point. But I think Tyler Steen is going to end up being the right guard, and we'll see how he plays.
So there've been 6 offensive linemen taken out of 11 players.
Yeah.
11 players or 10 players? 11 players.
11.
I only have 1 and possibly 2 interior linemen. So I think what I'm going to do, Matt Hennessy might not be any good though. I just don't know. I don't want to take a receiver here. I can't take a running back. I'm going to have to take an O-lineman. A quarterback is irrelevant.
Unless I run my 2 QB system.
Who's the next best offensive lineman? I could take Brent Toth.
He's been looking good snapping the football in OTAs.
No, he has not.
No, there's one bad snap.
One bad apple. Don't spoil a whole bunch, girl. Mm-hmm. I think what I'm going to do is move Mekhi inside to right guard and take Fred Johnson.
Okay. Mekhi goes to right guard. Fred Johnson at left tackle. That wasn't good for me. I was kind of banking on having Fred. You've now cornered the tackle market.
We're fighting over Fred Johnson.
Oh, my God. Well, you've got 3 tackles now. I have 1.
Well, that's the thing about drafting Mekhi. Just gave me that flexibility.
Yeah, that was a good move. All right, my turn. Whew.
I mean, you got some options. I mean, Gottlieb's out there. Dankwa's out there. The kid, Vakalahai, how's it pronounced?
The Australian
Lake
kid?
Vahalakai is out there. You got a lot of options.
Yeah, I do. None of them great.
It's going to be Dankwa. I know it.
My turn.
Yeah.
Paris Campbell.
Paris Campbell, third receiver taken.
I think he has to be. See, you're in a position now where you only need a center on the offensive line, so I can wait a little bit. That's why my strategy here was just to get the next best receiver. And the next best receiver is Paris Campbell right now.
Yeah.
As we record this. Heck, by the time people listen to this, he might not be, but he is right now.
He might not even be on the team by the time people listen to this. Yeah, I'm going to take Matt Hennessy for my center. Finish out my O-line.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
If I were you, I would just take John Ross and leave me with it.
I'm thinking about it. But I don't know if it'll be John Ross. I'm thinking about like which guy there makes the most sense.
I got this great O-line and nobody to make plays behind it.
I will go with, oh man. This is tricky.
Yeah.
Johnny Wilson.
Really?
Johnny Wilson.
Interesting.
Big frame.
Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he does have a big frame. So I need a couple receivers, a running back, and a quarterback, and those are all things you're not going to take. You need a guard, a tackle, and a tight end.
Mm-hmm. So we can kind of finish this up.
Yeah, we probably can.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll take Joseph Nagata, and I'll take John Ross. What the hell?
John Ross. And God is still available for you later on. I'll take Grant Calcaterra at tight end.
All right. I'll go Kenny Pickett. I believe that's the 18th pick, I believe.
Yeah. I got to figure out who the heck I'm going to play on my line.
You might want to try to talk Kelsey out of retirement.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
Trevor Keegan's out there. If you take Brett Toth, I'm just going to laugh my ass off.
Well, I need a right tackle.
You do.
I'll go left guard first. I will take Trevor Keegan.
I figured. That's a good pick for you right there.
Yeah. You need a running back and receiver.
Yeah, I'm going to take I'll take Nagata, Joe Nagata. I believe in him.
And my right tackle, what if I put Kenny Gainwell right tackle just to screw you?
Feel free. You're taking Anim Dankwa. Anim.
I don't know if I have an option other than that.
You have a couple.
Darian Kennard is a guard only.
I should have taken Britton Covey instead of Nagata. Oh, well, it's too late. Max Sharping played tackle in high school. Jason Poe's out there.
Anim Dankwa.
I love it. And
yep.
And I'll go Gainwell. Yeah. Who's going to be pissed if he finds out he was a 22nd pick?
Yeah. All right. So run down the teams. Rube's team, Kenny Pickett on offense. Rube's team, Kenny Pickett, Kenny Gainwell, Devontae Smith, John Ross, Joseph Ngata, Dallas Goedert, Fred Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Matt Hennessy, Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson. Dave's team, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Paris Campbell, Johnny Wilson, Grant Calcaterra, Jordan Mailata, Trevor Keegan, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, Anim Dankwa. That Dankwa one really hurt me. All right, let's take a break.
Kenny Pickett one really hurt me.
And we'll get the defense on the other side.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store at nissanusa.com today.
Celebrity cook Steve Martorano brings his Italian-American cooking back home to Philly. Enjoy Martorano's Prime at Rivers Casino and Steve's famous meatballs with Sunday gravy, prime steaks, and more. Make reservations at Martorano's Prime on Open Table. All right, we're back. Offense is out of the way. We're getting the defense now. Rube, since I won the coin toss, I got Jalen Hurts to start this whole thing off. You get the pick first for the defensive players.
I'm going to start with Slay.
Interesting.
And I think they have a lot of talent at corner, young talent, but Slay to me is still, when you make that first pick, you're looking for where's the biggest gap between 1 and 2. And I just think he's still a top cornerback in the league. And the other guys are really good prospects, really good, really promising young players. But I want Slay on my team.
Slay, to me, has kind of been maybe a little underrated during his time here. He's been really good. He's the best corner they've had since Asante.
Yeah. And I think, Asante's probably better, made more plays, but Slay's pretty good. Yeah. Slay will he'll tackle you more than Asante.
Sure.
We saw that. I thought he did a good job with that last year. It's a little dangerous pick because he's 33. He'll turn 34 late in the season. But he can still run. And he can still make plays. He's very smart. I think he's such a clown. Like, he's so funny, and he's always, but
a clown in the best way possible.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. But I think that he really prepares, and he's really smart. He really understands the game, and he really gets to know who he's playing against. I think maybe because of his personality, people don't see that side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really smart player, really good team guy.
My pick.
Yeah.
I'm going Jalen Carter. I think he's poised for a really big season. We saw it the first half of last year. He is as talented as just about any defensive tackle in the league. We need to see him take that jump, but I also feel way better about Carter than the other defensive tackles on the roster. So I'm going to go with him there.
That's fair. I'm going to go with my second pick. I'm actually going to go Devin White for the same theory. And look, we haven't even seen him in pads yet, so it might be a little risky move. But the rest of the linebackers, there's questions about every one of them.
Mm-hmm. Questions about Devin White too.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. But like Devin White, like even I like the fact that I think you referred to this on a podcast maybe a week or two ago, or an hour or two ago. I don't know, one or the other. He was really accountable talking about what happened last year, so he understands it. And he seems like he understands what happened. He was a really good player a couple of years. He actually got off to a really good start last year. So he's playing at a high level early last year, and then things just kind of fell apart. I think he was like player of the month, like early, maybe September. So I'm confident he can get back there. And when I look at, Zach Bond and N'Kobe and Ben Van Sumeren, I almost said Van Voomeren. I don't know what I almost said, but you look at the other linebackers, and I just don't know. So at least I think I'm getting a pretty solid guy there.
Ben Van Sumeren is really good.
I'm not sure what I was saying there. So I'll go Devin White there. It's a risky pick, but I like it. I'm good with it.
It's risky. You went for the gap more than the talent.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for both and take C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
That's a good pick.
Yeah. I think it's funny. I think people forget that he's still kind of learning the safety position.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing this all that long. He did it the 1 year with the Eagles. And even for part of that, he needed to play down some more. Last year, he didn't get to play very much and he got hurt. So I think he's still ascending as a safety, has ball skills. But I think that's important to remember that he probably is just scratching the surface on what he can be as a safety.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I'm really excited to see him this year. And I think it's unfair to expect him to have 6 interceptions because that was kind of the exception, not the rule. But I think he just brings so much as far as swagger and energy and playmaking. He's around the ball. So, yeah, it was great to get him back. And I'll tell you what, people talk about don't burn bridges. That's why I don't burn bridges.
Well, they might have burned them and then they rebuilt them.
He didn't burn them, but he might have, I don't know, pour a little gasoline on, but just didn't light it. I don't know. But no, he never said anything bad about the Eagles organization. He was disappointed the way it went.
Yeah.
But
He talks some smack on the fans. His agent was publicly commenting on a contract.
Yeah.
Wasn't great.
Good to have him back, though.
Mm-hmm. You're up.
I'm just going to go safe pick here and take Blankenship just to make sure I have at least one functional safety. I don't want to get caught with Tristan McCollum and Andre Sam. so I'll go Reed Blankenship.
I think that makes sense.
Safe pick.
Yeah. My turn. This is a tricky one. I'm going to go.
I know who you're picking.
Do you?
I already wrote it down. Let's see if you.
Oh, I don't think you do.
Okay.
I'm going to go Bryce Huff.
I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of a question about him, but I think he had a really good year last year. I do think the potential is there for him to be very good off the edge for this team.
The potential's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a little risky to. I mean, he's had 1 year and he didn't play a lot of snaps, but.
Well, I think it's unfair to say he's had 1 year because like his per snap pressure has been much better, and the Eagles are clearly not looking at sack numbers and being like, this is what matters.
Right.
I think they're looking at the pressure.
Yeah.
Now the big question is, can he sustain that level of pressure, playing more snaps that are not just passing downs?
Right. Which he'll have to do.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he's gonna have to play a lot.
Yeah, it's a good pick. So I'm gonna basically take the guy I thought you were gonna pick, and that's Josh Sweat.
Yeah, I was between the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you got me on the defensive, but Sweat's a guy who I don't know what happened the second half of the year. But again, it always comes back to the second half of the year is just bad for everyone. And Sweat was really good the first half of the year. He was good the year before that. He was good the year before that. So I'm gonna go by the, logic that the Josh Sweat we saw in 2021, 22, and the first half of 23 is the player I'm getting with the 7th pick overall on defense.
I like that. My turn. And this is tricky. Because we're at a spot now where like you get one, I get the other, and it might not really matter.
Yeah.
I'm going Quinyon Mitchell.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's going to be a stud. I'm not letting you get my draft crush. He's on my team.
Q.
And I know there are other good corners, but I don't want to inflate what we saw in 5 spring practices.
Yeah.
About those other guys. Whereas Quinyon Mitchell's the best cornerback in this draft class. I think in a year that wasn't so offense heavy, he goes higher. Eagles, I think we're kind of lucky to get him at 22. I think he's gonna be a really good player.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go Keeley.
Okay.
And Keeley, I got Keeley, Slay, and Blankenship in my secondary. I'm kind of happy with that.
Okay, yeah, you should be. Certainly should be happy with that.
Keeley we talked to Keeley on, was it Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it was a few Thursdays ago. He was barely audible. It was interesting.
He's a quiet guy.
So quiet.
Yeah.
But I really like what he said. I mean, he's so confident. And you could see the difference in him just with every rep. I mean, just the confidence he was playing with. And I might have sold him short early in the mini camps, just thinking Isaiah Rodgers has this locked up. I mean, Keeley's really good, has a chance to be really good.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And like, if the Eagles like, which one would they rather work out?
Sure,
Keeley, yeah,
the draft pick. I remember when I do my stupid, I do my next year's draft the day after the draft ends every year, and Keeley was my first round pick, coming out of the 22 after the 22 draft. I had him as the Eagles' first pick in 23 in the first round, which I had him picking late in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he was seen as a potential first round pick there for a while. So,
oh yeah. And like, sometimes I think that stuff gets overblown because you get picked where you get picked.
Yeah.
But there was a reason he had that buzz.
The Eagles sure liked him.
Mm-hmm. My turn.
Yeah. 10th pick coming up. 10th overall pick on defense.
Yeah, this is a little tricky.
You say that before every pick.
Because they're all tricky.
They're not all tricky.
I'm going Brandon Graham.
BG.
Yeah. He's got one good year left in him. His last season, he's on my squad.
Okay.
And I have Bryce Huff on the other side where it's like you don't know what you're going to get. I
Mhm.
know what I'm going to get from BG.
Okay. I don't know. You're leaving me the dregs at edge rusher there.
Well, no, first round pick there.
Gabe Hall might be Gabe Hall time. I don't have any interior linemen, Dave, so I'm not convinced he's going to have the year people hope he's going to have, but I'm going to take Jordan Davis. He's the next best guy and potentially could be a really good player. I think at worst he'll be a functional starter. Might be disappointing, but he'll play, and he'll play a lot because he has to, and because he was a first half of the first round pick. So it's a big year for him. I don't know what to expect from him. I don't know if he'll ever be the player that they hoped he'd be when they took him, but I'm taking him 11th overall, which is higher than he got drafted.
A little bit. I'm going Milton Williams then. I'm going to kind of take away your other option at defensive tackle. And I feel pretty good about my line. Bryce Huff, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Brendan Graham. That's solid.
It's a good line. You could end up having a little bit of an edge there. I have I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Cooper DeJean as my third corner. I'm going to play him in the slot. So I'll have Slay, Keeley, and Cooper. And
yeah, that's good.
I kind of like where I am with my secondary with Reed at safety and two corners and a slot.
I like that. I like the rookies got split up on our teams.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy about that.
No, they're not.
No.
My turn. I'm going to go in the Kobe Dean.
Really?
And I know that Zach Bond got reps over him in the spring, and I'm just not buying that. I don't think that's going to be the case once we have the training camp. And I know it's a risky pick, but your secondary is almost filled out. So I don't feel the need to rush and get those guys. So I'm going to go with Nakobe there. And then I'll figure out the other linebacker spot.
Okay. We both have some things to figure out here. Things at the end of the offense, things were just falling into place, but we don't really have that that luxury at this point. I'm trying to think what corner I can move to. All right. Anyway, I don't want to give away any strategies. I need some help up front, but you've already got a full slate up front, so I can hold back on that. So I think I need to take a linebacker. I think what I'm going to just do is take Zach Bond, just because.
There's a sentence you didn't think you'd be saying a month ago.
I don't think I have a choice because, I mean, we each need a linebacker, and I mean, he's getting first team reps. He's got a lot of first team reps, so I think he's got to be the guy ahead of Van Sumeren or Trotter or Oren Burks or whoever. So I'll go Zach Bond.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense there. I have a question.
Yeah.
Where are we on the health of these players? Are they in their current health situation?
Well, that's a good question because, like, I would have taken Sydney. I mean, I think we've got to kind of assume. I don't know. You don't have to assume anything, but I don't know. I was wondering where Sydney fits in on all this.
He might fit in here. That's why I asked.
It might not be a bad pick.
Yeah.
But you might not have him till like week 3 or.
I might not have him, but I'm going to go with Sidney Brown here. I wish we would have seen more of him last year. It was a real shame that he got hurt at the end of the season, but he also showed some versatility last year. So I'm liking my versatility already. I have Sidney Brown and CJ Gardner-Johnson in my secondary.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I like the way Sidney played him. He had that pick 6, which was a really athletic play. He looked fast on that one. It's the health thing. So
sure,
I guess we're basing this on opening day rosters.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of a gamble.
We'll see, because you might
not have him for 4 weeks.
You might have 10 guys out there. Well, I guess now it's just a matter of filling out spots because we have all different spots. Although we both need a D back, so there could be some. And I need a safety. I'm just going to take Avante.
Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna
That's
take
a
Avante.
good pick for you because I was going to take him next.
It was really, I mean, it was him or Mekhi Garner, who I think has a chance to be a player in the league, but I'll take Avante.
I'll go with Isaiah Rodgers as my other corner.
Okay.
So you need
So there's 4 players left.
Yeah.
I need an edge and an interior lineman. You need a linebacker and a corner.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take Nolan. What else am I going to do?
First round pick. You got a first round pick.
I got a first round pick. So, I mean, it's him, Julian Okwara maybe, or Jalix Hunt. I guess I could line up Moro Ojimo as an edge, but I'll take Nolan. I mean, he's out of all the other guys, he's got the best chance to get on the field.
Mm-hmm. I'll go Tyler Hall.
Tyler Hall, nice
that's my
pick.
nickel. Pure nickel, but that's fine because I have my outside corners in Quinion and Isaiah Rodgers. You're definitely beating me. Your secondary looks good.
Yeah, but your D line looks good.
Mm-hmm. Last pick, need a defensive tackle.
Yeah, it's got to be Marlon Tuipulotu.
Okay.
And you get to pick a linebacker now. There's a lot left. I mean, there weren't many left when we started.
I'll go Warren Burks. Don't know.
I think you take Van Sumeren.
I could have. Burks is ahead of him, so I don't know.
Okay.
That was fun.
Didn't stop you with N'Kobe and Zach Bond.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, why don't you run down the rosters here?
Yeah. Rube's team: Kenny Pickett, Kenny Gainwell, Devontae Smith, John Ross, Joseph Ngata, Dallas Goedert, Fred Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Matt Hennessy, Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson. Then on defense, Josh Sweat, Jordan Davis, Marlon Tuipulotu, Nolan Smith, Devin White, Zach Bond, Cooper DeJean, Darius Slay, Keely Ringo, Reed Blankenship, Avante Maddox. Here's my team: Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Paris Campbell, Johnny Wilson, Grant Calcaterra, Jordan Mailata, Trevor Keegan, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, Anim Dankwa. On defense, Bryce Huff, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Brandon Graham, N'Kobe Dean, Oren Burks, Tyler Hall, Quinion Mitchell, Isaiah Rodgers, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Sidney Brown.
Interesting.
And after the next break, we'll get to the special now.
They did sign a kicker. We could do that. Yeah. Should we have people vote somehow?
Yeah, just let us know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you have Jalen. You have the better team. I think I might have slightly better defense. You probably have significantly better offense just because.
Well, you ended up doing a good job getting your line together, your offensive line.
Yeah, I like my O-line. I went versatility, with Becton on offense. And
the Becton pick was
Avante.
your best pick because then you could plug and play him, and you ended up with him at
right guard.
Right guard.
Yeah,
going Mekhi Becton and Fred Johnson and leave me with Dankwa was a shrewd move out of you.
Yeah, so you have Jalen, but you have Anim Dankwa blocking for him.
Mm-hmm.
I got Lane Johnson. I think I have the edge at right tackle.
Just a little bit. All right, that was fun.
We could go through it, see who has the edge, more spots, but let's not.
I don't think we need to.
No, we don't.
Yeah. This is where we tell you guys, if you enjoy the podcast, please rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button, subscribe there as well. Any final words, Rube?
No, that was fun.
It was fun. This has been the Eagle Eye Podcast presented by Nissan. We will talk to you soon.